Hey, this is Everwind. It's time to stump the dummies with my challenge.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, guys.
Hey!
Watch for Dummies here. And a fan.
And Everwin. Look who we have as a guest tonight. He has lined up something fun. Shawn, Andrew, you guys were given a head start this week. I hope you guys took advantage of it and are prepared. For everyone at home watching, we actually allowed Shawn and Andrew to get through the very first envelope of the blind challenge during the Patreon pre-show tonight. So giving them a little more time to nose and taste and appreciate these scotches and really get some notes on them before we get into. So it makes it a little more engaging and they can really talk this through. But a couple things before we dive in, guys. So let's hold tight. Let's check out and see who's online. Let's open this up and say happy Thursday. Good to see all you guys.
Cheers, guys. I'm going to pour something a little special.
What?
For a good patron, a good friend of ours. It's Tamar's birthday. So
Happy birthday to Tamar.
cheers.
Happy
Happy
Tamar.
birthday in the comments.
Happy birthday.
Well, that's a good one. What's Shawn pour? Well,
Let's go see who's online real quick and say hi to everybody. First thing I see was Scotch on the Bayou. Hi, Lee. Kim Frederick was on the live show earlier, and Zach and Jimmy T, Tamar, Bob H, Daniel. I see Steve A, DB She. Hi, D. The Porters are on. Stuff for work. It's your typical everybody, man. It's our regulars. Justin Overpeck. I see the Linux Cat. Who else? Brad Murphy from Down Under. Good to see you, brother. I don't see Everwind. That's because he's on the show. Well, with that being said, everyone, I want to. Hey, there's Hoagie from Germany.
Hey, Hoagie.
Hey, cheers, Hoagie.
Hey, Catherine.
Hey, Hoagie.
I want to give you an opportunity, everyone, to talk your challenge up. So I received the challenge via owl delivery earlier this week, and I've had a chance to read through it. I know Drew has had a chance to read through it. And anybody that's on our Discord that wanted to see what this is all about can go and download it. It's up there if you want to follow along that way. But everyone, good job, man. I'm excited about what you did here. This is pretty fun. Why don't you set the stage for everybody at home and let these guys take off with it?
So in this celebrity death match, we have Shawn and Andrew. There can only be one. And today their challenge is to find the finishes. So that being said, I picked in this series of the Aqua Vitae challenge, they have to their first challenge so that they can open up their second envelope.
Oh.
Did we?
Unless you want to go over they did their favorites. So if you want to talk about your favorites, go for that.
Let's do that.
Run through them.
Andrew, do you want to start?
I will. So we'll start with the green.
So hang on, time out, Andrew. How many do you have? How many?
We have 5 samples. 5 samples here. They were given color codes. So we have green, light blue, purple, white, and yellow. Everyone, what can you tell us about these at this point? So all we know is
they're all single malts. The
All
ABVs range.
okay.
But
What
don't
do they
worry
range
about
from?
the ABV. And
Are you willing to tell us what they range from?
I want to say 43 to about 50, I think. 50 something.
Okay.
A little bit of everything, and they're all diverse. They're all different finishes, and that's the nature of the challenge. We do have some different ages. We have different regions. So, like in a true Aqua Vitae channel.
Are they all scotches? Can you say that?
They are all single malts.
Hey! Looking ahead. All right. So I will start, unless Mark, you want to say anything?
Nope, you're up, Andrew. Have at it, my friend.
All right. So I'm going to start with the green, and the green got a real light, sweet nose. I mean, there's no wheelhouse, no peat, no smoke on that at all. It's real light, sweet, fruity, like grapes and that kind of thing. But then when you go to the palate, you get a little bit of pepper, and I'm getting kind of what I indicate as a sherry finish. But as I spent a little bit of time with that, I may not stick to that. But that was some of my initial notes. Like, oh yeah, I feel it tastes like a Glenmoe, like La Santa, or something like that. A real light, sweet, fruity. But I'm not going to commit to that at this point. What'd you get, Shawn?
So the green one on the nose for me was cotton candy and saltwater taffy. And then on the palate, it's got a real nice cinnamon clove balance with a underlying like a soft caramel candy. So there's some sweetness there, but that's not the predominant thing that's going on with it for me. It's a little bit spicy. It's got a nice long finish. It's really good. I like that one quite a bit.
Okay.
All right. So moving on, I'll start with the baby blue, the aqua. So this one caught me off guard, man. So on the nose, it's got a musty, like old sauerkraut cooked vegetable nose to it. It's like, I don't want to say it's off-putting because it's not. It's a very interesting nose, but if you were looking for a sweet Scotch, this isn't going to be that one. And then on the palate, it's very distinct. I described it as cooked broccoli with spices.
The cooked broccoli dram. That's nice.
Because
I don't get broccoli on it.
It's got a tangy, like vegetative quality to it, especially on the back palate.
I was just getting ready to say cooked vegetables.
Yep.
Kind of rye, almost a rye flavor to it. Some corn silk, if you have a little bit of corn silk on there. And then with the palate, I get like walnuts, some walnut and clove and kind of things in it. It's kind of a bitter, a little bit on the bitter side. Maybe that's where you get the broccoli, but it's a completely different finish than the green.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so moving on to our next one is purple.
Mm-hmm.
So this one I actually enjoyed it. It's got a very appley, cinnamony quality on the nose, and I got candy apple and like red hot candies on the palate.
That was purple?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting because I'm getting so when I open this, I'm getting like blackberries or blueberries. It's kind of fruit berry.
I could see like a bitter tannic berry that's got some of that.
Yeah, like a blackberry. And then on the palate, I was getting more of a licorice, kind of just a real hint of licorice on it. Some dry red wine kind of things, a little bit of lavender. It's a really it's like a much fruitier body to it than like the first one had, which seemed sweet. This is more of a bigger body fruit, like a plum or a deeper berry kind of thing than the first one was.
Yeah, it's good. I like the glass.
Mm-hmm.
So next up, we've got white. This one to me had a super floral nose. I described it as rose water. Like it's not overpowering. It's got like just a real sweet floral quality to it. And then on the palate, it's got a nice ex-bourbon spice and vanilla thing going on. I would say of the five, this one is the most tame, I guess you would say. I mean, it doesn't have anything that's like crazy outside of what I expect when I pour a glass of scotch. How about that?
Yeah, I agree. My notes were the first thing I wrote down was floral as well before we ever talked. I am getting a little bit of honey on it. It's real light, almost. If this is one of those ones, if you wash your glass in the dishwasher and you have residue on it, it'll overpower it. You gotta have really clean glassware to be able to pull the flavors out of this. Very solid, light maltiness, just really, really subtle on the palate.
Yep.
But that contrasts with the yellow. The yellow is sweat socks and old bandages and a drying quality on the palate. It's one of those classic spring bank type of flavors that you really, Campbelltown, definitely a hint to it. It's designed to taste like a Campbelltown for sure.
Yeah, I got sweat sock on there. That was the first thing I wrote down on the nose. fennel, a little bit of lavender. And then on the palate, I got fennel and cigar smoke with a little bit of light spice. I don't know if I'm feeling poetic tonight or if these scotches are just inspiring me to pull out a bunch of like terms that I don't normally use for scotches, but I don't think I've ever used cigar smoke to describe a scotch before. But this one, I don't know, it's got a lot going on.
You got that tobacco leathery flavor in it. Yeah.
Yep. So, Andrew, I will go through my ranking.
Okay.
So I liked the green, which was the first one we went through first. That was my favorite.
Okay.
Followed up by the white one, which was kind of the floral. I don't know. That one's just hitting me. I really like the nose on that one quite a bit. Number 3 for me was the purple, the apples and red hots. And then 4 and 5 were the two that were just they were very different. And I liked them. I don't know how much I could drink of them. I think I need to water them and just kind of see where they take me. But I picked the cooked vegetable one was my number 4, and the yellow, the sweat sock and fennel and lavender was my number 5.
So 4 is yellow, 5 is blue.
No,
4 is blue, 5 is yellow.
Oh, okay, good, thank you.
Yeah, so we're pretty shaken up in here. We're completely different. So my favorite was purple. That blackberry and things. It just seems to be the best well-rounded of the things for me. Definitely not my typical wheelhouse, but tonight that purple is fire. I went with the green for number 2, so we're kind of close there. My 3rd was the sweat sock. Sweat sock one. It's got so much complexity to it and interest. I like that. My 4th was the white. So that's real. So this is how tonight my palate's really weird. I like the sweat sock over the really light, but then my 5th one is the blue one that has that vegetables and things. So it's really kind of a mishmash for me.
These were very, like, you can pick out somebody's palate just by having them taste through these 5. I think, because they are so different.
Yeah, the thing is, this is not my typical palate. This is what's hitting me that I enjoy tonight, and all of them are good in their own way. So
yes, I agree. I'm going to run through the colors real quick because Sunday Evening Scotch asked to recap. So from my favorite to my least favorite, it is green, white, purple, blue, and yellow.
All right, and mine were purple, green, yellow, white, blue.
That's super interesting.
I just want to
Andrew. All right.
It's nice being on this side. I feel like I've been on trial for the last couple of times, and it's nice knowing the answers and listening to you guys and going, "Oh yeah, I can see why I did that. Oh, you know what? Yeah, you get that right too."
It is so fun to be
like,
all right, so we open an envelope number 2.
Yes, please open up number 2. So this is the part of tell me what the finishes are. Tell me what you think the finishes are.
All right.
And so let's clarify, there are 5 unique finishes here, right, everyone?
There are 5 unique finishes. That is correct.
Can you give us the 5 finishes?
No, that's the next part of the challenge.
Oh, okay.
That's the semi-blind challenge.
There can be only one.
There can only be one.
All right, so the finishes.
And this is just a guess, guys. Some you'll know, some you will probably not know at all. There's guarantee you'll not know it because one is very unique. And the folks in the chat will know which one based upon if they've been to Discord and seen the challenge.
Oh,
true.
All right.
Here's pulling up Highlander. Who's going to take it?
Going to get us demonetized.
No, only if it's more than like 10 seconds or so.
Huh. I'll tell you what.
You're right, everyone.
There are 5 unique things.
Oops, sorry. I couldn't resist it.
I'm not saying you're wrong, man.
Hey, by the way, Shawn and Andrew, you guys need to stay out of the comments because I don't want anybody to mess up and say anything on the
Right.
YouTube chat.
Did something come up on the comments? Because I'll block that from my vision if I need to.
There may be some giveaway on that. Just don't pay attention to it. Everybody that's chatting, make sure you don't say anything that would give anything away here because they have access.
Don't look at the comments.
All right, I'll bring up the private chat so I don't see the regular chat.
Perfect.
All right.
Huh.
All right.
So is this a hard challenge for you guys?
Yes, the finish is tough.
Well, it is. It really is because I'm not sure. I'm not sure some of these if it's the whiskey or if it's the finish. You know what I mean? Like without knowing the distillery that it's coming from, it's hard to parse out what's from the new make and what's from the barrel influence. I think the white one is just an ex-bourbon, but the other ones, I'm trying to pull out something that might indicate that it's a certain thing, but man, they're just very.
So I'm gonna go. So I've got three. I agree with you on the bourbon for the white.
So I will tell you, there's nothing that's just bourbon.
Really?
There may be bourbon in the max, but there's nothing that's just bourbon.
They finish it in something else.
They're finished in something else.
Wow.
Well, that's not fair. Well, I guess it is fair. It's
More
more
information,
information.
you guys all
Fair, man.
So I'm going to think white is not finished only in bourbon barrels. I'm thinking that's not that.
That's not just just not. Yeah, those probably have bourbon barrels in them, but that's not the main primary finish.
That could be like a white
Man.
almost like a Madeira or a Pinot Grigio. I mean, it's like.
All right.
This is gonna be really interesting.
So what color are they working on right now?
All right, I'm going to go white wine on white.
So
That's the
white
white.
wine on white.
White wine. I'm
Wine.
gonna go sherry on the green. And for the purple, I'm going with either.
What say? I'm sorry, Andrew. What'd you say for green?
Green is I think it's a sherry finish. That's going to be my. I'm not going to spend any more time on that because I have a lot of work to do on the blue and the yellow.
He said I got a lot of work to do.
Purple, I'm going with either a deep red or a port. The blueberries and things are leading me towards a port, but probably. But that's where I'm gonna go with port on that. I'm gonna shoot for port because of the blueberries and the blackberries and things in that. So
Ben says it's all Johnny Walker Gold. Just so you know.
it is. It's all Johnny Walker.
Hey Ben,
All right.
there's a guy that can pick out finishes.
Yes, he can.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to put this guy up in a blind challenge.
Oh, he makes things look easy. He's scary good.
All right. I'm going to say purple is a Calvados apple brandy finish, just because I get some apples and cinnamon on there, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to agree with Andrew on the white. It's some kind of a white wine, maybe a Sauternes or something like that. The blue, just because it's got such a weird nose to it, I'm going to go with like a really aged rum because rum gets some funky smells to it if you've got like some crazy stuff going on. The other two, I don't know. I don't really get anything out of them that I can identify as.
So that's green and yellow?
So green and yellow, I'm not really sure. I want to reserve judgment on all of those.
Yeah, my problem with the yellow one is that the whiskey, the new make, is so powerful and so potent. I'm having a really hard time pulling anything out of that.
Have you tried adding a little water?
On yellow? Okay.
Yeah, we haven't talked on that, but since you guys actually did the initial nosing and tasting prior to going live here during the pre-show, did you guys add water at that time? Have you added water to all 5 of these already?
No, I just added water to those 2 that I was having a hard time with. So I need a second with it.
Interesting.
Well, I was also waiting because I was sure that somewhere in here there would be an ABV question.
No
I
ABV
didn't want to water
question.
them
That's
down
not fair.
and not have the benefit of a full potent glass to figure that one out.
Well, I just poured the remainder of my sample from my life from the porters at the Glendronach Cask Strength Batch 8. And the nose on that is just phenomenal, Michael. I just wanted to tell you that.
Ahoy, Travis. I saw your message on Hey, Travis. Ahoy, Malt Mates. So right now I have, Andrew, you have a sherry for green. you have some sort of wine or port on purple. You have a wine finish on white. Is that correct?
Yeah. And then I'm going to
still
go.
have not you have not on yellow or blue yet.
I think I'm gonna go with the spring baked burgundy finish on the on yellow.
Okay. And what do you think for blue?
Dun dun dun.
You can guess. Just tell me what you think it is. What does it smell like?
Mezcal? Is it a mezcal finish?
You can put that. Is that your answer, Andrew?
Really
Final answer?
Everyone's like, it was finished in a gas can. Tell me.
I was just thinking that. Were these finished in drums? This one tastes stainless steel to me.
No, I would do that to you guys.
This is awesome.
It could be rum. I don't know. I don't have an answer on blue. I'll yield to. I'm going to go mezcal. It's better than nothing.
Okay.
On which one, Andrew? Blue?
The purple or the blue one.
So for Shawn, I have rum for purple, a brandy for you have brandy for purple.
Rum for blue.
Rum for blue.
Apple brandy for purple.
And
I'm doing a white wine for the white, maybe a Sauterne. Yellow. Water on it didn't really help. Just gonna throw that out there.
That is a higher ABV one.
Or is it? All right. So, did we finish this one up?
Well, no. We need an answer from Shawn on green and yellow.
Got it.
On it.
It's not very easy, is it?
Drew, are you writing these down?
What?
And I think everyone's the only one keeping score here.
Yeah,
I'm keeping score.
I'm relying on everyone here because he's keeping.
I'm trying to keep score.
Green. I'm gonna go. No, that one's got a nice sweet taste to it. Now that I put water on it. Huh.
Plus a little bit higher ABV.
Man,
I mean, I'll go with the sherry finish on that one, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really have the qualities of sherry, and I'm trying to think outside the box because they're all 5 different, and I'm sure that you've thrown some wrenches in the works.
Just one. Just one banana skin. As Roy would say, just one banana skin.
So I've done analysis, and I admittedly have kind of gotten forward into part 2 of the of this page. So
just Shawn needs his yellow.
Come on, Shawn.
I'm gonna do both of these.
Go random.
Go ahead, Andrew. Come back to me on the yellow because I'm still working my.
Okay, you ready for the next part of the challenge, which is find the region?
Yes.
Yeah.
So here we have some regions. So for the people online, here's there. Find the Japanese whiskey. Find the youngest whiskey. Find the oldest whiskey. Find the whiskey that until recently, 2018, the distillery did not even bottle single malts. These were really hard to come up with, by the way. And find the whiskey that is done in the Victorian style or using traditional methods from years gone by.
All right.
You know,
I'm not doing this one.
I think you guys are both going to need a drink to get through this challenge.
I'm glad we have 5 ounces here to drink. So, all right, my random guesses based on my years of experience drinking whiskey. I'm going to go with the Japanese whiskey is white. I'm going to go with the youngest whiskey is blue. The oldest is purple. The very recently is the yellow, and the Victorian style is green.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay. So for the reasons why the Japanese whiskey.
Which one is the Victorian?
The green.
Green is Victorian.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I have youngest is blue.
Yes.
Oldest is purple. Is that what you said?
Yes.
White. What is white? Japanese.
White is Japanese.
And yellow is
the recently did not.
Okay, the recent. Okay, gotcha.
Hmm.
And so the Japanese is a light, typically a light style. The Japanese honestly could be either the white or the green. That was a tough one there, because they're both light whiskeys. They don't do a whole lot of that heavy influencing. So that's where I'm going with that. The youngest whiskey being blue.
This is hard as hell, man.
That's okay, guys.
Never
It's all in
win
fun.
backing you guys in this one.
It's all in fun.
All right.
Yeah.
I never did figure it out, yellow. I don't know, man. I'm gonna take a 0 on that one.
Take a mulligan.
As far as the second part of this challenge, so I've got my oldest whiskey is green. The Victorian style, I did blue, just because it's kind of weird, and I figured that would be maybe some flavor profiles that you would get from doing an old style. I put the Japanese whiskey was purple. The youngest was white, and yellow was the one from the distillery that didn't bottle single malts until 2018.
We only agreed on one of those.
I know,
Yes,
right?
you
Oh,
did.
wow, you guys are all over the place. Okay.
Which one did you agree on, real quick?
The oldest.
Okay.
There we go.
No, you didn't.
No,
agree
nothing
on
else. The recently
Recent.
still.
Okay. Good.
that. Okay, so
All right.
that was a tough challenge, guys.
Dude,
Wow.
that was hard.
So here, now we're going to move to the semi-blind, where you're actually going to know what some of this stuff is. So
All right.
feel free to open up your next envelope.
Oh, envelope number 3.
Here's where we find out how badly we screwed up here.
Yep. I'm okay with that.
So
Wow,
here
that was
are the
good.
finishes.
Peachwood. Really?
So for folks on the stream, one of the is a PX finish, one is Peachwood, one is an Oloroso Mizunara, one is rum cask, and one's a Pinot Noir.
And their heads are spinning right now.
Yeah. So
So now,
I wish
now
you
that you know
guys-
there one's PX,
Now,
one's Peachwood, one's Oloroso, one's rum, and one's Pinot Noir.
it's a lot easier now, I think.
well, I mean, earlier you guys had said you both had said a sherry finish, so you
Yeah, I'm giving you half a point for that one.
you're getting a half point on
You're
those.
getting a half a point on that one.
Well, yeah. See, so if I said sherry on all of them, I would have got 2 right.
Those are. Huh.
It's funny how when you go through these, and Mike did the last week to us, you're like, okay, I'm good with that set. And you go to the next set, you're like,
I'm
yeah.
totally wrong on that set.
And then you go to the third set, you're like, I'm completely backwards.
So 2 of them were sherry cask. You think you would have figured that one out, but apparently not.
Honestly, I don't get PX on any of these.
Really?
And usually I can pick that out.
Interesting.
Huh. That is super.
Interesting.
We'll go with the one
All
you know for sure first.
Well,
Easy.
I think PX is purple.
Andrew's saying PX is purple.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, I got your mark down.
Yep.
Anything else? Either
I'm
one?
gonna pick green is Oloroso.
Green is Oloroso. Okay.
I'll agree with Andrew on the PX for purple. I'm going to say blue is the. I'm torn because I had it down as a rum finish just because rum has some like weird flavors sometimes. But now that you're saying peachwood, I've never had anything in peachwood. I have zero idea what kind of flavors that might impart.
So, Shawn, in the chat, don't go read the chat, but I literally typed out Peachwood ? Laughing my ass off.
And Ben says my home has more rolls of toilet paper than the world has Peachwood whiskey.
I told that was the banana. That's clearly the banana.
Yeah, I agree with Peachwood. Probably is blue.
Yeah.
So which would be rum then?
So that would leave
So
me.
it's rum and
That would leave yellow for rum. No, yellow or white? Because we got to get a Pinot Noir.
all right, so white is rum. And
I'm gonna go with yellow with Pinot Noir.
Yep. I'd agree with you on that. So I've got from green through yellow, green for Oloroso, peachwood for blue, PX for purple, rum for white, and Pinot Noir for yellow.
That's exactly what I have.
Excellent.
And we're both
Well done.
wrong.
Okay.
Okay, good. You guys,
Well,
yeah,
points.
hey, the difference between knowing a little bit and what you blind helped you a lot.
It
It
did.
did.
Sure.
Absolutely it did.
Okay, so next part is the semi-blind B, which is the
Page number 4.
page number 4. So here are we going to find out what the whiskeys are and their ages. Oh wait, did we do the
Oh no.
No, we didn't.
Let's see.
Oh,
Wow, there's a lot of writing.
yes, there is. So I will go through the whiskeys and their ages. Now you just have to figure out which whiskey is what
Region.
region,
I gotta read.
age. Okay,
right.
so for the people in chat, the first whiskey
No,
is
hang
a
on.
Japanese whiskey. It's Yamazaki 12. This is an Oloroso Mizunara finish. The second whiskey is from native Virginia. It's a Virginia whiskey.
Oh, copper.
It's
Yep.
Copper Fox's Peachwood single malt.
And you
They
guys know
use they malt the barley with burning peachwood, and they also put peachwood in the barrels as a flavor. It's very unique.
right.
But it's from Northern Virginia, so I thought I'd share something from local.
We've
The third whiskey is the Balvenie's Caribbean Cask 14.
white wine finish.
So we got a rum. There's your rum finish, and then the other whiskey is Glenallec's 12 PX. It's a brand new expression. It's their PX version of their 12-year-old. And the last one is in the Victorian style is a Long Row Red Pinot Noir. It's your Campbelltown funk with some light, very nice wine finish.
So now that you know that much, you got to tell which one's in the region, right?
Yeah. So which one is which one is the Japanese? Which one is the oldest, youngest, things like that. So which one is the Yama? Which one is the Victorian age? Which is the rum?
All right.
So this should make it a little bit easier, even more. Now that you know what they are.
Well, the little bit of information you gave them on the previous challenge really opened doors up. I mean, I think it's amazing how it peels. It's like an onion. You know, you peel a layer off and things start to really reveal themselves.
So number 5, the Victorian style would be yellow. That'd be the Pinot Noir. I agree with that. So I put as my red wine finish. Blue would be the youngest, and the Peachwood.
Yes, Peachwood's 2 to 3 years old. Very right. It's right. It is the youngest. So which one's the Oloroso and which one's the PX? And which one is the oldest? The oldest is left, which is obviously the Balvenie 14, double rum Caribbean cask.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
I think I'm going to pour this Glenallachie.
All right. I've got my guesses anyway.
Okay, what you got, Shawn? I'll write them down.
All right. So green, I think, is the Japanese Yamazaki 12. Blue, I'm 98% sure is the Copper Fox now, because I remember having it at the whiskey show a couple years ago, and it had a very unique flavor profile, and I was trying to figure out what that was, and I'm pretty sure that's it. Purple I've got as the Balvenie Caribbean cask.
Say that again, please.
Balvenie.
Which color?
For purple. White, I've got the Glenallachie 12, and then yellow is Long Row.
The Victorian?
Yep.
Okay. Good. You
Andrew,
ready for the big reveal now?
No, what did
Hold on,
Andrew,
let's see what Andrew
Oh,
said.
that's right. Andrew's got
Yeah.
three more to guess.
what are Andrew's guesses already?
I've got
He
green
has
for
the youngest is the Peachwood. He has the the blue, right? You said blue is the youngest.
one more sip of white and I'll decide.
Yellow was the Victorian.
Yep. So I think I have mine are switched from purple and white.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you got?
So white, I'm calling the Caribbean cask, the oldest. Well, actually, wait a minute.
You're gonna talk yourself out of a point, man.
Yep, purple is number 4. Purple is the did not bottle single malts.
Pardon, Sid?
White is the Caribbean cask.
What is the Caribbean cast? You say purple is the.
Yep.
Which one?
Purple's what?
Purple is the Glenallachie.
GA, and that leaves green as the
Japanese, yeah.
Japanese.
All right, we just flopped 2 of them around.
Yeah, flop 2. Okay.
Okay.
The reveal is on the last one, guys.
Shawn on the Caribbean cask. I think that's one of his keys. So we'll see.
I don't know, man. We're probably all wrong.
All right.
This is gonna be awesme.
I can tell you right now who the winner
Wow.
is by 1 point.
Oh no. But
Oh,
these guys let's soak in first.
Japanese.
Somebody's going to get their head chopped off.
So why don't you
Drew
read
Highlander style.
Why don't you read the reveal, everyone?
Okay, so, folks, the green is the Glenallachie 12PX.
Okay.
The blue is the Copper Fox Peachwood. The bottle mark purple is the Yamazaki 12.
Mm.
The
And that's
white
all-
is the Caribbean Cast 14. And long row red is the one that's marked yellow.
So to finish out all the challenges, let's go. The Glenallachie is the one that was not producing single bottlings a few years ago.
Right, yeah. Glenallachie just the core range in 218, and the PX was added this year.
Right. What the Copper Fox was the youngest.
That was.
Uh-oh.
And the Japanese is mostly Oloroso and
Right.
and Mizunara, which is that. I was surprised you guys didn't get those notes because the Mizunara oak is very different. It's like a sandalwoody.
Yeah.
You know, nobody mentioned any of
Yeah.
the oak flavors.
Well, see, that's the thing. When the purple is one of my favorite. That was my favorite to start. And yeah, that's the thing. I'm really struggling to try and find. I assumed if it was Japanese, there would be a sandalwood nose to it, but I just am not getting that right now.
No.
And of
So
course, is
It was
the
really tough.
so obviously the Belveni is known for their honey and vanilla flavors. I thought you were going to get that one right away because that's Belveni is just known for that oaky vanilla honey flavors, and with just the rum finish, it just adds a little sweetness to it.
Yeah, it's not very rummish. It's just a little sweeter than normal.
So I
Right.
put Glenallachie and the Yamazaki.
So, but Andrew wins by 1 point.
Oh,
No way.
dun, dun.
I will totally concede that one.
Let's go over your guys' order again. Now that we know everything that we know, what was your order of likeness in the very beginning? What were the ranks?
My preference was I had purple number 1. I had green number 2.
What was
number 3? I had yellow was number 3. That was Long Row Red Pinot Noir. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. White was number 4. And then the blue was number 5 for me.
Okay, your order doesn't surprise me for you at all.
Yeah.
I'm serious. And when you read those off, and I was looking at the answer sheet, I was like, "That's Andrew."
Yeah, I was for sure you would have the peat up higher. I mean, the Springbank Long Row. I mean, that's a heavily peated Scotch.
Yeah, it's that Campbelltown funk.
You got to be ready for the funk. And sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's not. And tonight it wasn't as good as the expressions in the other ones. And so that's where I was having to balance how good is this road whiskey. If I had one whiskey to choose, which one would I choose? And that purple was
Drew's
really
laughing.
good.
No, I'm honestly not raging.
I do want to say Mark was right. When you guys first started and you guys were doing your order, I was watching the cheats. That's why I said this is awesome to watch, because you guys, knowing who you are and what your palates are, you guys ranked them exactly how I thought you would eat. I'm like, Andrew's gonna do this, and you guys did. It was like,
So
wow.
what was Shawn? What was your favorite?
So mine went Glenallachie, Balvenie, Yamazaki, Copper Fox, and Long Row.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you put Long Row last, though. That just, man.
I'll tell you what. I think what threw me off about all of this is these are incredibly different.
Yes.
So it's not like you're lining up 5 Olorosos and asking me to pick my favorite. It's like lining up, a light beer and a shot of tequila and a single malt. Like, they're incredibly different.
Yeah, the Peachwood I'm not a big fan of, but it is unique. It is different. For people that don't know, Copper Fox is Rick Wasserman's. He interned at Bowmore for years and years and years.
Right.
He wants to recreate Bowmore in America, and he's experimenting a lot with finishes and putting chips in barrels and malting. Actually, using they have their own malting facility there, and they burn fruit woods. Peachwoods, apples.
He does staving as well, and
staving. Yep.
Yeah.
When I heard Peachwood, Copper Fox immediately popped in my head. It's like, those are the new Peachwood.
And I mean, I liked the Copper Fox. Like, I actually liked all of these, but they're very different.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta. I think you would have to decide your mood. And I can see me having a mood and picking each of these on a different day. So, I mean, it's just really hard to go through and pick a favorite when they're just very different styles. And it was tough, man. I mean, it really, really was. I think the fact that they weren't all scotches kind of made it a little more challenging. And then the flavors that I was pulling out were extremely odd, and none of them screamed out for any particular, I just went back and tried the what was it, the Glenallachie that had the PX.
Yeah,
I don't get any PX in there, really. I mean, it really doesn't stand out at all. So I mean, it was really hard because I'm really trying to pick out.
Yeah, I thought that would be actually the hardest, because the difference between Oloroso and PX are very different. But again, that was the in some ways the tougher part of the challenge.
And that Glenallachie's 48%.
Yeah, I did have a little bit of heat on the ABV on that one.
It is. Well, yeah, it's 46.
It should be.
This is the European version.
On the cheat sheet, you have it as 48. It says whiskey Glenallachie 48%.
On the bottle, it says 40. It says 46 on the bottle.
Okay.
So they must have changed it, because I just pulled that from the website.
Yeah. Back in my notes, and the Yamazaki, I did have a little bit of licorice on there. Maybe that's where I was picking up some of that sandalwood, that licorice and lavender on the palate.
I don't remember if it was you or Shawn, but somebody early on said they were getting apples on that too, on that Yamazaki.
That was Shawn. Yep.
Yamazaki's pretty complex. The 18 is amazing. The 12 is nice.
Things, yeah.
The purple's Yamazaki, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got apples on there and some cinnamon. I never really got the lavender. I didn't get any sandalwood. So that one was tough too. When you're talking about Japanese whiskeys, I thought it would be very easy.
Yeah, I would do too.
Usually when you start peeling off the layers and you're like, okay, well, here's some of the hints, and you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna line these up. And this one was still pretty challenging, even with all the hints.
So as soon as you guys got a little bit of information, though, you got your answers, you got closer. You just really mixed up the PX and the Oloroso. So a little knowledge, you did zone in on stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it does make it easier, or at least it makes it easier to exclude things from certain categories, I guess.
Sure.
So
Well, I appreciate you guys drinking the whiskey. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for the opportunity, guys.
I'll tell you what, it was definitely a challenge. You did stump the dummies.
That was fun. Hey, describe Victorian style to me.
Yeah.
So when I went to the website and trying to come up with the categories, Springbank does it old school, right? They malt, They bottle. They do everything in house. On their website, they make whiskey like as they did back in the Victorian times.
That's where it comes from. Okay.
They still make whiskey the same way they did
Right.
in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So that's where that came from.
Well, let me go back over to the chat and see if there's any questions or comments that people have to say about it, because I thought that was really fun. I love watching you guys kind of flounder and squander, but as soon as, like everyone said, as soon as he gave you just a little bit of information, it was like you guys just started zeroing in really quick.
Exactly. Yeah, because we were given the beauty of this is before we went live here, we were given the time to kind of sit and analyze these whiskeys, and that makes it so much easier. That's why when these questions came out, I'm like, boom, 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 because
I think we should do a redo, Mark, versus you and me, because I think we need some time to. Now, so I'm curious.
Your head's already lost.
Shut up. When you went into this,
2 out of 3. This 2 out of 3, Mark.
Come on, man. Come on. So when you were obviously you didn't know who was going to do this, I think originally, but when you came into that tonight and picked between Andrew and Shawn, did you have any kind of favoritism at all between either one of them, or was just pretty much you had no idea?
I thought with the food background and the wine background, Shawn would have some advantage. I knew that Andrew, I've heard him say he's had Japanese whiskeys before, and of course he likes the peated stuff. So I knew that was where his strength was,
right?
And that showed in the thing. And the peachwood was the banana skin. It was just a matter of
yeah.
Actually, once we had a little bit of knowledge, that one was easy to figure out.
Yes.
The other ones were a little bit trickier, but it was not an easy challenge. And I think sometimes you get in your own head about this stuff and you start to overanalyze, and that can definitely lead to your downfall. But this was a tough challenge. I appreciate it, everyone. Thank you.
That was fun. I appreciate you sending it, everyone. That was a good challenge. I love seeing the thought behind it, and the fact that you threw a couple of curveballs in there. That banana peel with cow fries was huge. I was actually sweating a little bit thinking that they were going to nail that one, because I remember when we met him at Vine and Table.
Yeah.
And he was showing us, pouring us this, and I was like, what? You do what? You chip? What the hell's that? And and I tasted, I'm like, man, I've never tasted anything like this. I'm not sure I like it. I'm not sure I don't. I'm just saying this is like this isn't in the same sport, right? It's on a different field. And so I really thought you would jump on that, Shawn. And you guys both put it out there. You just didn't know what to make of it. You're like, all right, this is weird.
Yeah, exactly.
And you kind of boxed it out there. And
it is weird, and I think it needs more time. I think they're doing interesting things at Copper Fox, and I think with more time, even though in the summers in Virginia are very much like Kentucky, they're warm and humid, so they age much quicker.
Yeah,
I think you can really taste the youth in this whiskey. Is what I get out of it.
The problem
it's
is
very youthful.
They're pushing it too hard. They need to be more subtle with their wood and maybe give it a little more time to mellow out.
Ooh, there it is. I remember that.
I do too. I was like,
I can't believe he just said Glenelg. I'm like,
I don't know.
Well, Billy Walker was on Roy. I mean, that guy is a god.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just sitting here enjoying the Yamazaki. I poured the rest of the Yamazaki, and I'm just going to sit there.
I figured you would.
Goes and sip on that.
Just to wrap it up, though, as far as a blind again, we have fun with a dummy against dummy, but not to steal Roy's words. It's really not about you being on trial here or against each other. It's really about the whiskey. And I know Brienne Porter just made a comment, said, I'm surprised the Long Road didn't fare better. And the more I thought about it, I was like, it's not really fair to say that the whiskeys were being judged against each other either. To me, they were being explored for what they are. And we were really everyone was really trying to showcase the differences of them, because there's so much drastic difference here in these 5 whiskeys. That was the fun part of it, watching you guys try to dissect those differences.
Yeah.
It's not about which one's better or worse or who did better or worse or what you like more than the other. It was more of like, just what are these and how different they were. And it was fun to watch you guys kind of.
I think that's well said. This really was an exploration challenge.
Yeah.
It really wasn't,
I got to use a lot of descriptive words on these glasses tonight. So I think from that angle, it was a very big success.
Yeah, I think you guys had fun. That's for sure. I had fun listening to you.
Cheers to both of you guys for getting it. Shawn, I appreciate your some of your descriptions. You went out there, you were like dirty sweat socks and stuff. I mean,
Cooked vegetables.
yeah, cooked vegetable. I'm like, go get it, Shawn. That's what we're about.
Like I see it, man.
Enjoy your sweaty socks.
So we have more challenges coming up yet. We've got a few more, a couple more interesting ones. So stay tuned on those. That was super fun. Everyone, I got a couple of things off of my bar I've got in store for you that I want to.
Oh, that's more than kind.
Throw something. It'll be fun. I'm getting to know your pal a little bit more on what you like and where your interests are. So I think that we can do something. But a couple more challenges on the way in the next couple of weeks, you guys. So stay tuned on that. Do you guys want to switch gears and wrap up as to what's going on with Scotch for Dummies? Do we want to talk about? We got a couple Scotch in the news.
Scotch news.
Hey, is Dr. Scotch around? I don't know.
I'm not sure Dr. Scotch can get in here after having 5 different whiskeys here. Maybe that'd be a great idea.
To be fair, we switched it up. We actually had a different topic for tonight, and Dr. Scotch was going to be on. And we switched it up halfway through the day because we got your package and some things changed. You know, Shawn, we wanted to make sure that you had the time to do this. And we know time's so hard on Mondays for you. So we want to make sure we had time to get this out as well. So that's what happened there. But I'm glad. I think these are so much fun because I think you can read the comments about it. It's so different. You're really, truly exploring. And people they learn. They understand things. You may not even have ever had a Japanese whiskey or know what a Oloroso is. But by watching some of these, you know, even you guys going through it, people can gain some information and insight from them.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very true. Hey, which one? There was a comment, Shawn. Alejandro wanted to know which one you called cooked vegetables.
It was the Copper Fox.
That's Copper Fox, yeah.
Copper Fox.
And it's got a really weird.
It's very grainy.
Yeah.
For sure.
I would agree with Andrew on the mash bill. It almost has like a slight rye character to it, and there's like weird. There's weird stuff in the profile that just kind of throws you off just a little bit.
So that I think is the youth because it is all barley, and but it's very young, and that's where I think you're getting that cereal grainy youth note.
It's got like a licorice note in there that I think I associate with a rye, and I don't know. I mean, it's just got a really weird musty and cooked vegetables. Like it had some weird stuff that I described it as.
It is very different. It is very different and unique for sure.
Yep.
That was fun. Somebody asked what's next too. Oh, Daniel, we've got 1 or 2 more right off the top of my head, and I have no idea what they're really about. I know the next challenge, the individual that put it together literally already put us up against each other. It had nothing to do with what we got. So we'll see how this one fares. I think it's Shawn and Drew, and then me and Andrew. So it'll be interesting to see how that one fares out. But I think part of the blinds, you guys, the blinds are fun to watch and go through. But from the other side, I really appreciate the blinds from the perspective of the individual that puts it together, because I love to see the thinking that went behind it. You know, so Everwin, he looked at what he had available to himself, and he put a challenge together that was meaningful, that was challenging, and that was fun, and it provided something for us to all learn a little bit about. It wasn't just about drinking 5 scotches or 5 whiskeys, right? It was, let's dissect this from some perspective, and that's a little more challenging to do than you think, right? It's not, you don't just go down to your bar and be like, oh, I'll pour these 5 and that'll be a challenge.
No.
It's harder to do.
No, it's pretty hard to put the questions up.
You had like 5 or 6 different envelopes here with, graphics and all that kind of things going on here.
You did a good job, everyone. That was really fun to go through. Drew, I don't know if you can pull up the Scotch in the News. There were 2 articles that I found that I really thought were interesting. One's going to be more fun for us to just kind of talk through as a group and chat. I'm curious to see what people have to say about it. But let's pull up the first one that was about the oyster reefs. I really think this is freaking cool. And maybe let me share the link in the chat so people.
Did you log in? Did you log in via StreamYards or the link?
StreamYard. So
you can share your desktop, and you can.
I just didn't want 2 of us driving at the same time.
I'm not doing anything. You got it.
Yeah, you're so trustworthy. I got to find out what's what here.
Pull it up for you, Mark.
No. Hey, now give me a chance here. So let me try to share my screen, but I got 2 screens. Hopefully this works. I don't know which one's it gonna. Hey,
you can pick even tab and within Chrome, so you can be really specific if you want.
There you go.
I'm nervous if it's the wrong screen, buddy.
There you go.
Check this out, man. So look at this. The Talisker whiskey got involved with this program to help rebuild the oyster reefs in New York. In New York Harbor. And to me, it's just
that's cool.
Super cool, right? I really had no idea that New York Harbor at one point in time used to be like the oyster capital of the world. And of course, due to the boat traffic and the pollution and stuff, it's really damaged those oyster beds. And Talisker has been investing in this, and their goal is to put, I want to say, 1 billion oysters.
Wow.
By 2035, I think it was. You need to read through it. Yeah. Enter 1 billion oyster project. And I was just like, how freaking cool is that this distillery over in Scotland is investing in something like this in New York, right? In
That's
the States.
Really cool.
Really cool project. Now, actually, I'm going to look into it a little bit more personally, just to see if there's some way I can donate to it or kind of track it and follow it, because I think that's super cool of them to do. But interesting, guys. I put the link in the chat, so if you guys want to go actually read the full article.
If Lee is on the chat, we can both attest to charboiled oysters and whiskey go really well together.
Well, and in the article, it point blank says that the author had gone to Talisker, and they were tasting, and they had a bunch of oysters in the hash shell, and they said 2 drops of scotch, and it just brought the oyster to life. It was so much more better, and it made me think of the Vine and Table that we went to.
Did you say 2 drops or 2 shots?
2 drops is what it said in the article, but
you're wrong, brother.
Anyway, so the other one I thought would be a little bit more fun. I'm curious to get you guys to comment on this, and let me share my screen because I was a little taken back by some of the ones that were selected. But so what we have here is 10 pros, which scotch offers the best bang for your buck, right? And I was like, well, I'm interested to see what these people have to say. So I start scrolling down, and we're talking about, bartenders at some of these big, huge, swanky whiskey
I've been
bars.
to some of those, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you've been to them. I'm curious to see what you have to say when you see what their choices are. So, of course, the ads are going to come up, but I look at the first one was Mac 12, and I'm like, bang for your buck. Do you think that your bang for your buck is
No.
Mac 12?
No, I disagree with that one.
Bar?
I mean, I read onto the comment below it. It continues the sentence in the paragraph, and they're like, Lefroy 10.
I think they're biased based on their markup.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Maybe, yeah.
I can see Lefroy 10 for bang for your buck if you want a peated scotch, because you're definitely getting punched in the nose with a brick of peat. But the Mac 12 caught me off guard. This one, though, was a little bit more interesting. Highland Park Magnus. I'm like, all right, so there's a $35 bottle. It's an NAS from Highland Park. I don't think it was mind-blowing, but
I would go with the 12 more than the Magnus. The 12 is pretty reasonably crossed. Even the 18 is reasonably crossed costed for an 18-year-old.
What market are you talking about? The 18's about $1.50.
That's cheap for an 18.
Really?
Oh yeah, I mean the Mac 18 is what, $3.50, right? The Dalmore is like $3 something.
Don't compare it to McKellen. That's not fair. But
And Dalmore's that way, same way for the 18.
Glenfiddich 18's not
About 100, right? But
it's I don't know. the Magnus bang for your buck, $35, maybe I can see that. So the Glenfiddich Founders Reserve, I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
No.
Nothing.
That's not good.
Nothing. This one, believe it or not, the Klein Leash, I actually disagree with this guy from Los Angeles, not because I don't think it provides bang for your buck, but because I don't think people that are going to drink entry-level priced scotch will appreciate Klein Leash.
No. I'm surprised Deanston 12 isn't in there. That's the best value.
Oh, somebody mentioned the Virgin Oak too. That's a great buy.
Yeah, Virgin Oak and the Deanston 12 are all very reasonably priced.
So here's your Lux Bar in Chicago.
Yeah.
Compass Box Artist Blend.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although most Compass boxes are a little higher price, so when you talk bang for buck, it's tough. But I think that one's actually reasonable.
That's a good one. Yeah.
And then we're talking about all these. Yeah, that's the one. He's just comparing the blends to Walker. Right. So Balvenie 14, we had a little bit of this tonight.
Well, what do you know?
That actually is pretty reasonably priced. It's like $70 in the DC area.
It's gone up though. I mean,
A little bit.
My guy.
The 12 it almost costs as much. The 12 almost costs as much now.
Oh, does
here
it?
Around us.
And so I'll finish this article. So I want to go over to the comments and see what people are saying. But here's, I agree with this one. We've been on this one for a long time, you guys. I mean, $29, $30. They're putting some really good single malts in that blend.
And Drew would add Naked Grouse to that list.
I would too now.
So look, here you go. It says Famous Grouse. This guy put blended Famous Grouse in it. And then when I read this, I thought, you know what? Leave that Famous Grouse on the shelf and grab the Naked one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's only like $10 more, $8 more, or something like that.
And it's worth it all day.
Yeah, sure.
Anyway, that was it. I thought it was a fun article because I disagree with a lot. There were a couple I was like, yeah, I agree with, but there were more that I kind of was like shaking my head going, wait a minute, are they just trying to sell stuff or get people to come in their bar or what?
Yes, they are.
Who paid for those rankings?
All right.
Yeah. So I want to go back to the comments and see what people said about that. But that's really all I had for Scotch news. It wasn't anything really in depth.
I'm drinking some of the Magnus right now, and I mean, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with it for what, $30-$35. It's all right. But now I wouldn't say that my bar is a good bar to make this comparison on, but that bottle's been sitting up there for a minute, so nobody's reaching for it. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
But it's a good. This would be a good warm-up Scotch. I just think it's on the other side of the bar, and we never pay attention to it over there. It doesn't get any love.
So
Is it a little peaty though?
Not really. But I don't find Highland Park to be especially peaty anyway.
No, it's not. They typically aren't, but when we warm up, we're looking for something really light and that has a little bit of body with.
It's got a little bit more potent. It's more like
Maybe
it's more like
35
cold coffee than regular or something.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're at the end of the hour. Everwin, great freaking blind, dude. Very nice. Happy to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time.
There can only be one.
Apparently, it's Andrew.
Only by a point, Shawn. Only by a point.
But that means I'm the Kurgan.
Well, guys, we've got actually lined up at least 3 or 4 more blinds. So we've got some more brackets and more tier systems to figure out, point systems. So we also have some blinds coming up with certain people pick. So this is going to be fun. I like to continue this series going forward to see how things evolve. But we're also hoping to get back into our normal reviews. We've got some other things on the table as well. So I'm looking forward to getting kind of back to normal, if you will.
Man, I actually got to say, guys, I'm looking forward to sitting down at the bar and doing.
Oh my gosh, right?
Literally, yeah. I mean, I kind of missed that camera in front of us with the 4 of us really talking through a whiskey. It's been a long time.
I feel like you guys don't pour heavy enough, so I'm ready for you to come back over here, man.
Well, because I can actually walk upstairs here when we're done.
Everyone, thank you. I want to say thank you. That was really cool.
It was great.
Fair winds and following siege, gentlemen. Fair winds and following siege.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys in the Zoom after party. Take care.
Happy birthday, Kyle.
Thank you.